Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the
Hey, hey.
Consistently Rolling Show. I am consistent.
Yeah, I'm in love.
All right, and Lil, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to dive into. I guess we're gonna go here, there, and everywhere. Where would you like to start today?
Oh man. Let's see here. You know what? You started off because I might fall. I might start off and fall into a little ramble tonight,
It
just to get
doesn't
something off
matter.
my chest,
We got a couple of
something
things. We
something
got a
to
few.
get my ears. Huh?
We got a few things to talk about.
Yeah.
I do know that we want to go back into the conversation that we had about healing to move forward. We're
Okay.
also supposed to be talking about the Bermuda Triangle. We're also supposed to be talking about what's that island that's having all them earthquakes? I can't
Canary
remember.
Island,
Yep, that.
Apamba.
Um, yeah, La Bamba. We are supposed to be talking about Anunnakis and reptilians and the history of all of that and how it intertwines with the Bible. So, where you like to start?
Yeah, and also we're going to talk about a little bit about awareness and
Hmm.
what's been going on in 2021 and what we can predict in 2022. So but yeah. So where do you want to start this off at?
Let's
Island of La
start with,
Pampa,
yeah, how about
or
that?
go ahead. Okay, so we're talking about the volcano, which everybody should be up to date about. Um, the weird thing
Actually,
about
people are not up to date about it,
yeah,
right? So
uh
there
huh,
was a volcano eruption at the lower part of La Pamba or the island, right? So let's start there. There was a baby eruption, right? So then over several weeks there has been like the one in the middle of the island or the middle section of the island has erupted so much that the top of the island has raised up. Would that be correct?
yeah, about 10 centimeters or something like that, 10 inches or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're up to date a little bit on that. So come on, let's get into the
Yeah.
conversation.
So the thing about the island is that it is not getting enough media coverage. In fact, I believe that they're going to do a sort of media blackout. This is why people are not hearing about it because of the media blackout on this particular island. And the reason why, or one of the main reasons why, is that they are afraid of the government doesn't want to cause a mass panic. And what the mass panic ensue would be a part of the island. I think it's like the north shelf of the island,
Hmm.
where it's mostly active. It's supposed to slide off and fall into the ocean. That will create what they call a mega tsunami for the east coast of the United States and other little continents and islands. And
I mean, even to the point that I heard, if you don't mind me interjecting, but I heard that even it would even like shut down the internet.
yeah, well, it's what it is. No, it won't. It won't shut down the internet. They will shut down the internet to stop this news from spreading, which they're basically doing right now. There's already a media blackout because you don't see it on any of the major news sites. You only see it on the social media. So in hindsight, if you wake up one morning and your internet doesn't work, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and all the other social apps, it's because there's a great, there's a big chance there's a big giant tsunami hitting the way to the east coast of all people in the coastal homes, and it's estimated to go in inlet about 2 miles, maybe 3 miles into here. So if you're in the along the eastern shores and in Florida, stuff like that. It can be a very nasty situation going on. But that's a very interesting thing. I think it needs to be more coverage. I think the people there, I pray for them, keep them in our prayers,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
keep them safe. The only news we're getting is actually from the people who were there. There's one guy on YouTube and Snapchat. He walks around the islands just doing nothing but uploading videos daily. They already shut down two of his pages. He put up a
Hmm.
third one now because they're trying to stop this flow of information from coming off that island and the surrounding islands.
Yeah,
And
but we
I
need
can
to
only
hope
imagine.
that because I mean, United States is not the only importance of what's going on. There's several things that are going on all over the world, all kinds of
Uh-huh.
earthquakes, eruptions, all kinds of different things that I feel like the whole world needs to know because if we don't know and we stay in the blind sight of the unclueless, we won't be able to try to prepare not our physical, but mostly our spiritual for what's to come next.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody would count their spiritual. We see a wall of water traveling at 500 miles an hour.
But at the same time, you'll be okay with dying, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, yeah, I
you got
think if
your
you
spirit right, you
know
won't be worried.
kiss your butt goodbye. But I think that people around the world do sense a great uh, uh, um, emotion or feeling is going on around the earth, and it leads me to this little rant that I have. So right now, according to the geological web page, which I had pulled up on my phone, there
Hmm.
there are like 57 active volcanoes actively going off right now. There are over 100 that are currently about to pop or in the midst of pop with the quakes and everything. So that's a
Hmm.
lot of volcanoes. And if you look at it through the geological map and look at where these earthquakes are, literally every continent on the planet is experiencing some type of eruption or earthquake or seismic activity in the high numbers. And this is global, okay? Every country, including the United States. Um, and then, because Yellowstone right now at the Yellowstone Lake in the Caldera, they're active right now. You know, it's not serious, but they're very active. But you know, when you have things like Yellowstone, even showing the slightest sign of activation, you might want to raise a leery eye because that volcano goes, we all can kiss it goodbye. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, not just the United States, but everything, everything be gone. It's very serious. But but it leads me to a slew of questions and thoughts because so here we are with active volcanoes,
Hmm.
earthquake, storms, animals acting out of place as if the electrical magnetic field is throwing off their senses. And you know, and it's kind of it just feels off to all of us. We feel something to all the
Hmm.
humans. And then you have the planets. You know, there are earthquakes going off on all the other planets. Okay,
Hmm.
but they don't talk about that. You know, but more importantly, and this is the key right here, and this may touch on the Bible a little bit, but
Hmm.
more importantly, if you look up doing the JPL list like the near Earth objects or NEO, if you look that up and you count the amount of large pyramid-sized rocks that are we heard of some.
Uh-oh.
You know, there's a few of them
Say
out there
it
that
again
talk
because you,
about.
wait a minute. You already know you got a little bit disconnected. So if you look around
Oh,
and
oh,
the amount of pyramids,
oh, okay, yeah, yeah. There's there when you look at this map, there are pyramid-sized rocks flying past our planet. Now they're within like 7 million miles, 10 million miles, which is really far to us, but in universal space is very close. But that's not my problem. That's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is all the little rocks that these big rocks are dragging along. See, these big rocks are coming from not the asteroid belt, but a lot of them coming from the Kuiper belt. These are far away outside of our solar system where the Kuiper belt exists. And then you
hmm
have a comet right now that's between Jupiter and Saturn, right? And they call it scientists are calling it a very strange comet. And that is even erupting with flashes and explosions. And they don't know why it's doing that. So then, with that in mind, we have our sun with the number of X-ray flares, mass coronal ejections that have bombarded our Earth so hard that we are starting to see low altitude auroras in the night sky. Lowest
yeah.
far down as Ohio and you know doing some
Hey, I
part of the
saw it. You guys, I will be posting a video if you guys didn't see it on Facebook. I definitely will be posting
yeah
it on YouTube, but that is definitely real.
right. So you have the sun acting up. This is where it gets even more mystical to me. What is now? We know the sun's big enough to affect the entire universe, all the planets and everything, titanic plates, earthquakes. The sun does that, has this part as well as the moon. But what is so big and so powerful that is upsetting the sun? Now, a couple of theories that could do this to the sun is other suns exploding or imploding, which send particles through our universe and cause our sun to have mass ejections or whatever. Um, or we could be at a certain type of solar cycle, which will have these type of activity on the sun. But our sun is really cutting up, like really cutting up. And and another thing about that is maybe there's something a lot bigger going on out there that they just don't want to tell us. You know, so
So what would you
I think
assume? Because assuming, well, let's just do the assumption of the gospel. The gospel would be, these are signs that Jesus is coming back, right? Um,
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I mean laugh.
so
Yeah,
I know. Well, I'm just saying these are the signs
right.
that, but we would say that these are the signs that something or someone is coming back, because this isn't just a biblical thing. This is written down in
Hmm.
history. You know what I'm saying? We got it written down on walls. So it could be just that type of energy just legitly pulling to come back.
Yeah, but okay. So here we are. If that type of energy comes out, then goodbye to all of mankind because we all get to go home to the Golden Gates and stuff, right? Or
Okay.
it could be it could be something. It could be something that again has happened throughout history that's been documented by the Sumerians and also by the different type of humans that existed here before. Um,
Okay.
Meaning like Nibiru, Planet Nine, Planet X, whatever kind of like that. We have these big planets that come through our solar system or our twin star. Because if you look into the universe, every star has a binary star. Every solar system has a binary star. That means there are two suns for every solar system, every galaxy. There are two suns. So
It's
where's our
wow.
second sun? Some say
Right.
it's Jupiter, some say it's Saturn, different nets so like that. Some said it's Nibiru, and because it's called the Rikachina and different stuff like that. It's what destroyed Nibiru. But anyway,
Hmm.
so we have these things in factor. But again, what hits me when it comes to biblical text is that when these big rocks that are coming past our planet, dragging
Hmm.
these little teeny rocks with them, what do you think is going to happen? There was a woman in Australia in her bed, and a meteor struck went through her roof and hit her pillow while she
I
was
don't
sleeping.
think a lot of
Right
people
next,
know about that, but definitely. Hmm.
you know, yeah, and it hit her. So I mean, it hit the pillow. If it had hit her, it had killed her instantly. And I saw comments on it when they were like saying, "No, why it's not hot? Why didn't catch her house on fire?" There's a whole science behind that. But here's my point: what if these rocks are coming through our Earth or past our Earth, bringing smaller rocks, and it literally starts raining meteorites? Like you can't go to bed at nighttime without wondering if this rock will come flying through your roof, to your
That's
car while
true.
you're riding on the highway. You know,
That's
and it'd be hell on earth if these rocks start flying down, hitting everything and everybody. So,
so. I
and
do
the
have a
rock,
question though, right?
yeah,
In
uh-huh.
the dinosauric time that we, I guess, history has or scientists has done their historical research about, isn't that some of the reason why the dinosaurs got destroyed?
Yeah, it was hit by according to science and everything, and it's just not only science, but because I have tons of questions about that. But there, yes, a rock hit the earth, which wiped out. Well, the rock hitting the earth didn't wipe out all the dinosaurs. What wiped out some of the dinosaurs within 1,000 miles of the impact zone was instant. What killed the things globally was the amount of ash and dust that went into the atmosphere that blocked out the sunlight for millions of years that caused a great freeze or climate change freeze or mini ice age, we would say. And the ash fall and buried everything. But they just found um, a dinosaur eggs with the embryo still in it.
Hmm.
Here, um, let's see, dinosaur eggs still contains embryos in the Argentina. They found dinosaur eggs with the embryos still inside the eggs. Now, what are they going to
Hmm.
do with it? I don't know. It's science, but everything. So that is evident that something happened that to massive. But it doesn't. It also explains the woolly mammoth. Well, it kind of does it because some of these woolly mammoth that was found still had the food in their mouth. Like there was flash frozen instantly. Like they
Hmm.
picked up some food, start eating it, and boom, they froze. And we found them just like that, millions, if not hundreds of thousands of years later. So something happened here or on a global level that did it to them. And I guess, could it happen again? Or when it's going to happen again? And these are the things that we talk, we got to think about. So we got Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, right? He's changing Facebook, where literally, just break it down to everybody, you can literally virtually go into your Facebook page. So this conversation we have right now will be in a virtual room where I can see you, you can see me, and everybody who's listening will walk into this room,
They can
like almost
interact
like
like we're actually all together. Correct.
and together, exactly. And people are like, what is this for? Why are we doing this? What know what the future's going to hold? That we're going to download our conscious into robot bodies, which they're working on right
Mhm.
now. And I got a video about all that stuff. Um, if they haven't
Working
done it
on it's
already,
already done. It's just a
yeah,
matter of
exactly.
rolling it
But
out to introduce it to us so that we can be comfortable with doing that. That's basically what it is. It's not
so
nothing new.
how so how would we survive? How would we survive as a species of human if we're faced with all this? So then the key asks, is this good news or is it bad news? Do I really
So
want to
this is
download
how
my
they would,
content?
to me, how they would introduce this. Okay. So now we got this VR, virtual reality, which a lot of people have already been a part of it. If you play
Yeah,
video game or you're a gamer, you know what VR actually is. So now we're doing it into Facebook to introduce those who aren't into video games. Hey, check this out. This is something new, blah, blah, blah. Then it'll be introduced in the way of, hey, you actually know if you download your conscience here, you could possibly live forever. We don't have to worry about diseases. We don't have to worry about this. Don't have to worry about that. And like we could just go on and on and on for days, years, months. It doesn't matter. So you gotta really see how they're trying to roll this beautiful, what is it, beautiful brown footage out. We got high rises of what they say coronavirus is going on to, but yet Facebook is turning into VR.
mhm,
We got to pay attention, like what's the
yeah.
next
And
thing that
it's
they could
also
possibly do?
it's also drag things to space travel. Because they're still working on the hotel in space. There's already some people flying up and hanging
Hmm.
around. William Shatner was the last person who went up, and there's probably more people going up. You got to have money to do these trips. But anyway, space travel. Because if we download ourselves to, because it takes light years, thousands or hundreds, if not millions of light years, to travel diverse across the universe. How are we going to do that in a human lifetime?
Oh, it
Humans
reminds me
expected.
of the conversation that we had. Remember when I was telling you
Yeah,
the story of the things that I have heard about how this massive person will come down and we'll be able to travel all the way to heaven, but we got to stop on a planet. But you get
yes,
what I'm saying? Like it, like
yes.
yeah, it
Yes, it
reminds
could
me of
that
the
be
story.
just like that story. Exactly.
Hmm. Hmm.
Exactly. And everything, and if you watch some of the alien movies, you really watch some of the alien movies where the humans were traveling with an android, the male, and when he got torn up apart by the aliens, he had this white milky substance running through his veins, you know, and everything. Again, it reminds you traveling through
Or
the
if you
universe.
pay attention to stuff like Star Trek, it literally lets you know it's different type of species that actually talk to you.
Yeah,
And they also had AI there too. If you paid attention to, well,
exactly.
when I grew up, the man was like completely like ghost white, but
Yeah,
then he turned green or something, blue, whatever. So yeah, if you actually pay attention to those things, they kind of like let you know it's already here. It's been
yeah.
here.
Like
It's
we're
just a
already
matter of
androids.
pulling it out to you for us to be comfortable. And saying as if this generation or the next generation to come won't know nothing but internet and how to actually work that way. I have actually legitly seen things where people are having meetings and they're taking their hand and they're moving stuff from slides to, to the board. And so, I mean, my kids will be okay with it. I'm not because I'm not used to this. Same like how two generations before me are not okay with the computer at all. You get so.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And for the most part, people worry about becoming robots and this and that, but we already are basically robots already. We already cyborgs. And if you want to put it in context and think about it, so your cell phone, your tablet, you can't walk out your house without it. Try leaving it home for a week. You will literally. I have a friend. Him and I've been friends since childhood, and he has no social media at all, and has no interest in ever getting social medias at all. Even if you Google search him, you find almost nothing on him. We tried, but he still has a cell phone. He still has the internet. He still is a gamer. And I asked him about that. I was like, you don't want to do the other stuff, but yet you're still connected. Because even without that, you would not exist. Because he argued with me. He says, "Oh, I don't exist. I never make a phone call without a cell phone. I like find a rotary phone. Landlines are practically very hard to find, if not non-existent.
Well,
They were
landlines
really
are available, but they are connected to Wi-Fi for sure.
Yeah, exactly. The landline means the wiring from the
Hmm.
wall to the phone to the wall to the ground to the next phone. You're not
Yeah,
going to
no,
find it. Like payphone.
that's yeah,
That's
that's
the
true.
landline. Anything that connects to Wi-Fi is not landline.
Correct.
That's not landline. And I argued with that. I said you're basically not going to be able to exist. How are you going to bank your money? He bank over his phone. He checks his paychecks over the phone and his tablets, his devices. We all do. You can't even device at home because it is your extension to connect to
Of
the world.
everything.
Right. Without it, I can't do
Yeah,
my business without if I leave my tablet and my phone, I can't run my business. I can't move. And nobody don't answer your phone and tablet for a week. They'll send the cops knocking on the door to do welfare check because they'll assume that you're dead.
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll assume that you're dead. So we already are basically um, androids, or if you want to get you know uh, um, religious about it, we already had the mark of the beast. It's in our
Yeah, yeah,
hand.
yeah. And in our
Bluetooths
forehead.
are in our
Yeah,
ears. We have these AirPods. It's in the hair. It's in our brain. The phones are connected to our brain. You think about something that's on your Facebook. It's already in the head. So we already connected in ways that will than we think. We can deny it, but it is what it is. You know,
that is true.
so
I think I
it's a
brought
little
that
bit of
into
reality.
effect, but that is definitely true. Yep.
Yes, yes. Something else and everything. So what else you want to talk about here?
Let's talk about this missing of people in the Bermuda Triangle. So
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
knows this
yeah.
news either. It's been like at least, from my understanding, at least 23 people so far and counting that has been missing from the Bermuda Triangle. Actually, there's been several stories even before this about the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. What do you think is going on there?
You know what? There are two sides of the story. You have your scientific side, and then you have your theory side. So you
Okay,
got to keep
so
in
let's
mind that.
start with the conspiracy and then we'll
Okay,
go to the science.
so we know the ocean is massive. 73% of the Earth is covered in ocean. We only explored about 10% of that, maybe. At least what we know and everything. And so it is not hard. If you ever see, you know how big a cruise line is. It's massive. But if you look at a cruise line from 40,000 feet and look down to the ocean, it looks like a speck of dust. Ocean
Hmm.
is huge. So it's not that hard to disappear forever in this vast ocean. Now, this thing called the Bermuda Triangle, the reason why that's located between um, the United States, the lower half of Miami, Florida, to the key, from the Florida Keys to the islands out to the part of Africa. It makes a big triangle on the grid, and a lot of things happen. Aerial phenomenons, where planes went missing, boats were missing. Doesn't matter. Divers missing. There are even reports of some military equipment gone missing. You had the whole fly five test planes, Navy planes that went out over the ocean, and they all disappeared. And then they sent the crew of rescue out there to rescue these planes that went down, and they disappeared, never to be heard or seen again. And even to the day, this stuff is still going on. And to me, the way the news is coming out, it has progressed over the years. It's just that, again, it's another media blackout. What's going on? It could be anything from aliens to sea monsters to freak storms, or just accidents, suicides, murder. We can go on for days, on what we can happen, because I think my mass public doesn't know.
Hmm.
Somebody knows, but we don't. We just don't know. Now, scientists saying that there are freaky storms within that part of the ocean that just pop out of nowhere. There are a lot of magnetic anomalies that goes on there at the Bermuda Triangle. Or these things called rogue wave. We had that where waves just come out of nowhere and just swallow a whole boat up without a trace. So we have these things, but yet people still go through there. A lot of people still fly through there, and a lot of days people go through there without a problem. I think it should be talked about more. I think it should be more investigated. The same way we do the Antarctic. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. The Antarctic. But yes, the last no news I heard about was the 23 people missing. Went missing. But there was a boat discovered with bodies on it, and they cannot explain the death, the conditions that the bodies were in. The conditions were reported by one of the naval mortician who, not Navy, the Coast Guard, who recovered a lot of the boats and stuff like that, said that the bodies were in a they were like pale white, like they were just sucked dry and mummified almost. It was very interesting.
Oh, it's like a ghost movie.
Yeah, sort of thing, and everything. And I'm pretty sure it's not the first time they found these boats and these people like that and everything.
But again, due to the internet that could be used for good and or evil, they
Yes,
gotta let
yes,
us know something. You know what I'm saying? There's no way
yeah,
that you could just not say something because somebody's going to find out something.
right.
Um, on a side note, I have been noticing that what we would say call quote unquote giants are coming back. I
Hmm.
saw a couple of TikTokers, I've seen some models, and I've also seen if you've been watching TV, because I really don't watch it too much, but I've seen a commercial where there's a said giant on there. What do you say about that now?
Yeah, so when it comes to giants or any of these creatures, Bigfoot, werewolves, that people like the guy who was out in the woods. The native people, I mean, the neighbors were complaining about a very large wolf, and he didn't believe it. So him and his friend went hiking, and they got it on camera. This wolf was about the size of a horse. It was humongous, and but it ran off when the second guy fired his rifle at it. Um, I'm kind of glad they didn't kill it because I really hate to see us kill. I don't want a human to get hurt by it, but they're not bothering us, leave them the hell alone. But these these mystical creatures that we call them, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monsters, whatever, um, these type of cryptid animals, um, I believe they either come from one or two places, either another dimension, and they just know how to cross over, like we don't know how, but they do, or they coming from these different caverns that leads down to the inner earth. I just watched a whole 3 hour thing on Admiral Byrd and his son on the whole inner earth thing and stuff, and you know that he was Admiral Byrd was arrested and put into a crazy home when he tried to tell people about the inner earth, and he died in jail.
Didn't
Mysteriously, he
know
got sick
that.
and died. Huh?
Didn't know that. You need to send
Yeah,
me that.
yeah. He would die. His son immediately after he died, his son published his private what do you call it? Your little books you keep with you,
Diary.
um diary, his private diary. He published it, his private diary, and because Elmer Byrd, see, he was the type of man that he didn't write down fairy tales. He only wrote down facts. What he really saw, and his diary explained a lot of stuff and what he saw there. The land beyond the land, where there's lush green. This is beyond the Arctic, because he went to pole to pole. He went to both poles. One of the poles he went to, he was sucked underground and talked to the leader of people of the inner earth. And when he came back, and there are pictures and satellite photographs from Russia and the EPA of this hole on top of the earth. But they want to debunk it, whatever. But it's there, according to Byrd. And this is when the whole treaty the whole treaty went up. But yeah, so um yeah, Emma Byrd was, I believe he was no silenced. He was murdered. Same thing, same way with Tesla. Tesla was murdered as well. Um and it goes on and on and on. So,
So
you
I
know,
had one question
yeah,
because
go ahead.
we're getting more and more knowledge of these people's places and things, right? And there are way more people than you and I that are talking about this, letting the information out, letting it be known, letting
Yeah.
others know that they are not crazy, they're absolutely sane. Why do you
Yes.
think that, well, some of these people are getting shut down, of course, but they're able to come back. Why do you think that they're allowing us to talk more than what they did back then?
It's a double-edged sword. If you it's a double-edged sword. So okay, they're gonna let some truth, like they released the document out of the Pentagon about UFOs, acknowledging that there are some strange aerial phenomena and some strange UVs, which is what they want to call it, flying around our sky, and it's not them. It's not human. It's unknown to who's controlling these vehicles that are flying through our skies. It's their way of saying it exists, but then at the same time, their way of debunking it is by throwing somebody in like Neil deGrasse Tyson
Hmm.
or Brian Cox to throw their truth in. And then we have this wonderful internet where all this misinformation is being bombarded on the internet, and you don't know what's truth or what's a lie. It all looks true, but it all could be a lie. But it could be something there. NASA's been doing this for years. They publish millions of photos of our universe every year. But you'll find out of those millions of photos, you'll find one with a UFO in it. Oops, we forgot to work that out. We forgot to, but they don't talk about it. They'll deny it in a heartbeat. In fact, if you reach out to the Q&A on their website, they'll block you out to just talk about it. I know. I've done it many times. And but it's their way of saying, "Hey, look what's out there," and then, "Oh, we didn't put that out there." That's how it works. And it all comes to.
That's
It
what I
also boils.
mean by that. It's like
Yeah,
the frustration, because I get quite frustrated.
that's what
But
they
the
want. What
frustration
they
of
frustrated.
wanting to know the truth.
Yeah.
While I get my ancestors may not have been able to handle it, you
Yeah.
you people are saying that our children are way smarter than they ever been before, which is a lie, which is an absolute lie, and but
Mhm.
why can't we know the truth? Maybe that'll make life a little bit better to keep going on. Maybe we'll understand it. But
Or
me and
maybe the
you
people
have had
will.
several conversations, and it's way
Uh-huh.
bigger than what we possibly could think or
Oh,
imagine.
it,
So
it is. It's way bigger than you. The truth is so believable that you would think it's a lie when you
exactly,
hear it.
but we all say to each and everybody, the truth shall set you free. We put our hand on the Bible. Do you swear to
Mhm.
tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth shall help you God? What are we doing that for?
Right. It's
If
it's
we not
again.
getting
It's a game to them. It's to them. It's a game. See, when you hear this type of information, you get frustrated so much that you just want to throw your hands up, go get yourself a nice drink, wine or whatever, and just forget about it. That's what they want. They don't want no persistence out of the public, because if we find out the information and we as a people start collectively working together and get over our little minor imperfections, like racism, sexism, and all the kinds like that, we get over that little teeny hump and really collectively together have these conversations, not only with blacks and whites and Hispanics and everything,
But
but
this is
other
how the
countries.
insight of the Bible has kind of told us this. You know what I'm saying? This is what I
Yeah.
mean when I say to you, some things we just take out of context instead of seeing it exactly for what it is. At one point in time, us as people, not as race, none of that. Us as people, because actually, this actually tells us where races came from, if we want to be honest. Us as
Mhm.
a people got together and said, hey, we're going to get together and we're going to build this city. We're going to build this tower. We're going to come
Mhm.
together. Anything go wrong, we come in here. This going to be our tower, whatever. To the God, but however you want to put it.
Mhm.
And God or them or whatever it is came and looked like, if they work together, this not going to be right. And this is where the Tower of Babel came along. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? This is where what we would call confusion and
Mhm.
races came from.
Mhm.
Because at one point in time, like you said, as a people, we work together. So my thing is, they say separated, we are as separate we can do plenty of things, but together we make a mighty fist. Why? And this is just something not for you and I, but I'm just putting it out there for those who listen. Why would God decide that we weren't good or conducive together?
Mhm. Well, okay, so to answer that question, it depends on what God you're talking about.
Well, I'm not talking about that. That's why I said this question was not for you and I.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah,
question
yeah.
for intellectual people to really think about. We got the
Well,
Tower of Man,
and that's me
the God
answering
of
that
love,
question.
you know what I'm
Right,
saying? The God of
right.
love, who decided that no, 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 no. I'm just gonna separate my people.
Hmm.
So that's not, like I said, that's not a question for you and I. That's a question for people to actually think about.
Yeah, well,
Why
that's
would
what
the
that's where the Anunnakis come in. If we sit down and tell the average person, regardless of their religion, sex, race, or color, whatever, like the average person that we as a species of humans were created by another species of human life, they would not only disbelieve it, but they probably would just completely block it out of their head. And like,
Yeah, that's not stay created. We were
yeah,
recreated. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because
well,
I mean, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna go there. So let's do it in the biblical sense. It
uh-huh.
says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Period. Bam. Done. Nothing else to be said. And then on the first day, he did this. And the second day, he did this. Third day, sixth day, he decided, okay, I'm gonna make man and woman. He created them. Okay. Blew breath of life into them. This is something that he did with his hands. So to me, it seems like he had surgery. And then he turned around and had another surgery because he separated a rib from Adam and then made Eve, right? We straight on that story, right?
Hmm.
He
Yep.
tells them, this is the words that people don't pay attention to. He tells them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Okay, now the story of the Anunnakis goes. Hello?
Oh, you want me to do the story of Anunnaki? Okay,
Yeah, why
so
not?
so the story of the Anunnaki. So we had a race of beings that lived on this planet called Nibiru or Nibiru. It depends on what culture you are. You pronounce it that way. It's called Nibiru, and what happened was their atmosphere on their planet was diminishing, where they could no longer survive. So they traversed through the universe because Nibiru came with it close enough to our solar system because there's a star, a brown dwarf, that surrounds their planet that is a twin to our star. You know, and according to the ancient Sumerians, these beings came to our planet to mine um, minerals and gold and stuff like that to um, to uh, to replenish the atmosphere. Basically, what we call chemtrails today. They take the gold, push it down to a powder, spray it in the atmosphere to reflect all the radiation from their dying star, from killing their planet, and they can survive. But when they did that, they came here with a race of human-like beings called the Igigis. Now, these Igigis were pissed because not only they didn't want to be slaves on this planet, digging up gold for the Anunnakis, but they felt though that they wanted to be some type of freedom because here they are were brought here by this beautiful planet, and they're working like dogs. They want this, so they uprise against Anunnakis, and Anunnaki says, "Okay, fine. This is what we're going to do. We're going to create a race of beings, slave workers, so that the Igigis can be free." So they took the DNA of a Igigi and the DNA of an Anunnaki, which was the alien race, and combined it together and started splicing what we would call them today the humans. They were called hominids, and then went from into humans. They did that. The two of there was a father son. There was a father wife, the king and queen. The father was the god of god of the heavens. You had the queen. You had the two brothers and the sister. The father name was Anu. The wife name was Aki. Anu and Ki was the husband and wife. Aki was their daughter. She was a geneticist. Then you have Inki and Enlil, the two brothers. Um, which they fought each other. Kind of like that Cain and Abel guy. But anyway, so and this how the humans came about through the years. And of course, they failed. They were They tried their best throughout the years of creating this human and finally created one and stuff. Because if you look, okay, I won't get ahead of myself. Anyway, that's how that kind of clashes with the Bible. So when you go back to ancient Sumerian, and then you go back to the Bible or religion, and you go to the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And like I said, we're talking, and then with this, so many days he made this, and blah 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 blah. So my problem with that is that it we making this out. There are a lot of discrepancies in the beginning. One, we giving this God a sex. Two, we said that he breathed a breath of life. It could not breathe. God, the universal God, is an entity. It's a form of energy. We all are connected. We feel that. We know that this God. This is why we worship. We feel that, which is a DNA trait. But anyway, um, you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. So I had these problems, but when you go to um the ancient Sumerian text and how we were created by these beings that from another planet, so we look at our own DNA, our own chromosome. Okay, and so what makes us age? If we off this planet, we don't age as fast as we do on the planet. And they say, oh, we have to do it with gravity. It does, but it doesn't. Gravity is still a theory. So in our DNA, we have this a chromosome number 2, right? And of course, at the end of chromosome number 2, you have these. It's kind of spliced, and you have the telomere caps. And science today is still debating that this was done in a laboratory. This was not done by nature. You know, and and there are a number of key factors that will say, okay, we were created by higher power beings. Does that mean that God didn't create the universe and or the earth? No, it does not mean that. Who said that God created them as well? Who do they pray to? And so forth and so forth and so forth. So we and that's kind of way out the evidence that of all this happened. We got people that back in the day, people didn't have time to sit around and get on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and go to bars and party. They documented everything, everything, and they literally written in stone, and they literally written it in on these cloths and everything, which still exist today, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and all. Which, by the way, did you know down at the Smithsonian they have the Egyptians artifacts? You know where it come from?
Hmm.
The Grand Canyon. In fact, there are several pyramids in the Grand Canyon, right here in the good sweet USA. There are hieroglyphs written by the Egyptians in the Grand Canyon today, which I'm going to take a trip.
Mm.
Yeah, and go to Smithsonian. They even tell you at Smithsonian that yes, this came from the Grand Canyon, but they don't want to put that on the public like everything else. So it's
Well,
a big thing.
we do know that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm loud. I'm here.
Oh, we do know that the Smithsonian and or the Vatican has way more history than what they're willing to tell us in the first place.
Right. My question is why? Well, of course we all know why.
Yeah.
But anytime the matter of fact, they just had a union meeting with the Pope here about 3 weeks ago. The only time that the heads of states have the meeting with the Pope if they're getting permission for something. That's the only time you meet with the
Well,
Pope. You got to get permission. You what you say?
I say this all the time, and I know that you be looking at me or listening to me like I'm saying like a little bit crazy, but it seems like Um, this said lady who was a part or was the founder of Seven Day Adventist had a
Uh-huh.
little bit more knowledge than what we were privy to. It's just the fact that we misinterpreted or don't understand it or wrote it the wrong way. Because she said something like, people will have to come together, they will come together with the Pope
Hmm.
and there will be a law, which probably will come out. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
She calls it the Sunday Blue Law, but we know that has passed already. So maybe let's put it this way. Some things of the Bible are what we call predictions, which to
Yeah.
me can be just history repeating itself.
Uh-huh.
Same way of the things that she would say, but it's just a little
Right.
bit different, a little bit off, because again, we know that there's nothing new under the sun.
Yes.
It is also misinterpreted quotes. Some things has to be led to interpretation, and some things have to be legitly read how it is written. So there
Okay.
lies also the confusion of the Bible.
Yeah. Question. So, do you think that the religion, period, not just about religion, period, is was written and introduced to the masses the way it is known today for control of the masses?
Are you talking about back then or are you talking about now?
I'm talking about right now.
So right now, it is for simply what it is used for: confusion, conquer, and divide. It is not for anybody to be joined together because there is so many different types of Christianity, if you want to even go into that part. Then
Yes.
there's
Yes.
the Cathology, the Catholic, it's like it's just so many for no reason. And it goes back into what we were talking about as far as the Tower of Babel. Why was said God, the God of love, the God of union, the God of unity, feel like this chaos and confusion would be needed if we're supposed to be
Because
a people of joining?
yeah,
I
is
know
that
your answer is just a
God didn't
thought
do
for
it?
just
That's
a
why
thought for those, right?
we all know who did it. We know Enlil did it because Enlil did not like the humans. He thought creation of the humans was a very, very bad idea. And I agree with him. Very bad idea because he said that we are too smart because we got their DNA in us. We are too intelligent. He was afraid that we would build a tower that was so powerful it would reach to the heavens and we will destroy it. And we will. And
You
we
know
will.
what? That kind of sounds like the story of Satan. I'm gonna build my kingdom higher than God. That's what it sounds
Mhm.
like.
Yeah. So and when Enlil they come back so often. So when they came back and they saw and Enlil saw that tower built, it angered him. He said he told his brother, I told you we need to destroy the humans because they are too smart. This tower will reach to the heavens and they will destroy it. Other words, what they were saying is that what Enlil was trying to say is that it's like NASA. What are we doing now? We're making this stuff to reach to the heavens and to colonize other planets without BS as human beings. Because let's think about it.
We
Humans
want to
are
know the
very
truth.
violent.
We
We
everywhere. But that's not necessarily true because we have the sum of old.
explain.
Let's be honest. We have the sum of old that knows the legit history, education, and everything that we are supposed to know as a human race, as a human species. They
How
keep
you know
that.
that? Wait.
What do you
Okay,
mean? It's getting
repeat
leaked
that.
out everywhere, all over the place. That's why it's misguided and misconfusion because it is getting leaked out everywhere.
So what is it that is getting leaked out? You lost me a little
The
bit.
history of us, the history of who we are, the history of what we need to be, what we need to become. It's everywhere. It is
So
true, but it's
give
it's
me an
it's
example.
within.
What? Give me an
Huh?
example. What part of history?
Okay,
So I
Gibson.
have. Uh-huh.
They have told us that we are human beings. Would that be correct?
Yes, human beings.
Okay. Before you decided to get the definition of what a human being was, did you know what it was?
Had no idea.
Okay, but in the Bible it tells you seek ye the spirit because you are of a spirit.
That doesn't tell me I'm human.
I know that. No. You're not getting what I'm saying. I'm getting
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying is they give you bits and pieces of truth everywhere. But there
Hmm.
is some people or set families or whoever it is that knows the absolute truth. There
Oh
was a
yeah,
time, think
yes,
about it.
like
There was a time when celebrities and everything else would not allow their kids to watch TV, play video games. No such a thing.
right,
Now they have these celebrities that before the baby is born, they have a Facebook or Instagram page.
right, right,
Why is that? You get what I'm saying? Like
right,
you gotta really get where I'm coming from. These kids that weren't on the internet, they were reading. What were you reading? What were you know what I'm saying? What were you getting educated on that we weren't?
right, and which was out of the books and libraries. But you talking about what their families that know the truth was teaching them.
Correct.
Okay, I see what you're saying. See what you're saying. because I'll get this here. And so what would be that true? That the Anunnakis created the human race
Who
or
knows what the
something
truth
else,
may
you
be?
know?
It could be that if the black man came from Saturn to help the Earth out, and they created us. Like we don't know.
Right. So that well, if there's evidence, okay, so let's look at the evidence. So these people wrote down stuff that they saw. And not only they wrote down what they saw about the sky gods and the gods of the oceans and the gods of the lands and gods of the earth and everything, not only they wrote this stuff down, but they knew things about planets that we didn't even know about until the 1960s. How would you explain that without them actually
At that
actually
point in
acting true?
time, let's be real and be honest with ourselves. They
Uh-huh.
didn't have TV or internet or anything like that to teach them. They had nothing but the sky and the
Right,
ground and the
right,
air and the
right.
water and everything else that was actually teaching them. So that's how they were learning. And to be
So you
quite
mean to
honest,
tell me that's not right? You mean to tell me that they know all about Saturn and its moons, which they wrote down on the wall in stone by looking at the night sky?
I
You
didn't
need
say
to
that. I said
believe
that's what they had for their teacher. And I'm not necessarily saying that they didn't have a teacher. That's not what I'm
right.
saying. I'm just saying that the way that we should be connected, because to be let's be real honest. You and I
Uh-huh.
know that we do have all of the answers. We just don't know how to get to them. You get what I'm saying? Um,
Like, right, right.
we just don't know how to get to them. But yeah, I'm not saying that they didn't have any type of teacher. We know for sure from the Bible. Let's just say from the Bible. Let's just start there because that's everybody's first book. We know from the
Uh-huh.
said Bible that Enoch walked with God, but we don't know where he went. But we know also that he was teaching somebody because it's in the Bible.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
there was a teacher. There, I mean, I'm not calling nobody no prophet or no prophet. Is you just have more knowledge than others. But
Right.
you get what I'm saying? Like we know that some of these it said that God walked the earth. You know what I'm saying? But then
Right.
just get where I'm coming from. But then it
Right.
also says that God can't walk this sinful planet because it's sin. So that's what I mean when I say there is contradiction and confusion in the Bible. But at the same time, we need to read it for exactly what it is.
And
Like for instance, let's
what
just
it is.
start
Okay.
here with Genesis 11, where it says, "Now the whole earth had one language and one speech."
Hmm.
And it came to pass that they journeyed from the east, and that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, which we need to figure out where that is. And they
Uh-huh.
dwelt there. Then they
Hmm.
said to one another, "Come, let us make brick and bake them thoroughly."
Hmm.
Who gave them that knowledge? You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Who
Right.
gave them
Right.
that knowledge?
Right.
They had brick for stone and they had asphalt for mortar. How did
Hmm.
they know to do that together? And so they made a
Right.
brick and they built then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and ourselves a city and a tower." So it wasn't
Hmm.
just one thing. They was all a community together. Let us make a name for ourselves. um it says excuse me, a tower whose top is in the heavens. So what they
Hmm.
were reaching for something to go somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, and they and the ancient Sumerians explained that and how they did that. They also who taught us the value of money and trinkets and jewelry and necklaces and everything like that. And we all know that the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids either.
But the thing about it is it's not like they was doing anything to be of harm to themselves, because it just says,
No,
"Let us make
they're
a
doing what
name
we're
of
doing.
ourselves," so that even when we go scatter abroad, meaning even if we don't stay here, at least we got some base to come back to, because it'll be
Right,
abroad over the face of the whole earth, right? But the
right.
Lord came down to see
Hmm.
the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, "Indeed, the people are one." Ain't that what we were supposed to be? Aren't that what we supposed to be? We're
Right,
all
right.
created in God's image, so why aren't we one? And they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now, nothing they have proposed to do will be withheld from them. Why would he want to withhold? We can't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now
Right.
you telling me we're not supposed to speak one language. We're not supposed to be like, come, let us go. Let us go down there and confuse their language that they may not understand one another's speech. Like, come
Right.
on, let us go down there. Who he talking to? He the only creator. I thought he didn't even have to come down. Are you there?
Right.
He didn't even have to come down and just deter speech. Why he had to go down there? What was the problem with us trying to get to heaven the way you was at? Because I thought it was a heaven above the heavens. So we couldn't have been that much high.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Whew.
Yeah, I know. It's just crazy to me. It just is.
Whew.
And it's not that I get it. It's like I honestly feel like that. I don't know when King James decided to write the Bible, but before him, it was a such thing called the Torah that
Mhm.
everybody was reading or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Well, the Dead Sea Scrolls were all hidden, right? They were all
Yeah.
hidden, so somebody
Yes.
found them. The
Yeah.
Bible,
Hello. You still there? Hello.
you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Lost you for a second.
Ah, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Go ahead. I'm listening. You hear me?
Hold on 1 second. The
Yeah.
Bible, if
You
you can
coming
hear
through?
me, lets us know that we there were hidden things or um hidden secrets that they
Right.
were hiding from said what would we call them? We would call them come on, Alicia.
What's that?
Roman Catholics is what they say.
Captain Marvel. Right.
But if the Roman Catholics had all that information, what was the point?
Mhm. Right. Exactly. What was the point? Hey, you're going out again. If
Hello?
you're talking. Oh, there you go. You're back. Is
I
that me or
can't hear
you?
you.
It might be. You can't hear me. I can hear you pretty good. Let's see something. I'm still here. Oh,
Hello? I don't know. So basically, what I was saying, hopefully he'll come back. It tells us that they hid their information away from Roman Catholics, and then you're telling me
he's
that
here. I'm here.
you Roman Catholics was able to get this information and then put it in the Bible. Like something's not right here. So we do know that there's a group of people who found them Dead Sea Scrolls and decided what was going to be in the Bible and what was not going to be in the Bible. And over the
Yeah.
years, people started rewriting the Bible and it was misinterpreted or added said things just like, for instance, Shakespeare is in the Bible some kind of way. Like, why are you in there? You wasn't in biblical times.
Right.
Um, and you got, again, it's like several different translations of the Bible now. And whatever the Bible was originally, it's
Uh
not
huh.
that. And then that's where the problem is. We did have that set information. It did come
Right.
from whatever people, African, whatever you want to call it. It was over there. You got to think about it. If everything was in Israel and Jerusalem and Nazareth, that is over there by Africa. You can call it whatever you want, but that's exactly where it is.
Yeah.
And that information is still there, and they still hiding it from us. Why?
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Just a lot. It's a lot going on with that stuff over there, and uh it's something else.
This
Man.
is why.
Hi. Hi.
Man, good conversations, good conversations. So, since we were talking about outset God, creator, whatever it is you want to call it, you want to go into the reptilians,
Oh man, the
lizard people?
draconian, man, the
Who
draconian
are
people,
they?
man. They the ones that now they are no they are the enemies of the Anunnaki. There are several stories coming about them. There are several races of draconians. They're like the lizard people. They come in different colors, different size. You have the warrior breeds. You have some nice ones. Some of them look like praying mantises. Some of them look like dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Um,
I was going to tell you today, I tell you that I'd be listening to my disclosure,
yeah,
and they were talking about how a lot of our weapons we got from the Draconians.
draconians. Yeah, the swords, shields, and everything like that. What was that? Genghis Khan. You know how he was known as the great warrior of all times, and how he defeated these war the battles. There's claims that he got his knowledge and equipment and everything from the draconians,
Hmm.
the reptiles. Yeah, that's how he won. There's even some talk about Hitler doing the same thing. This is why they all had these secret places in the Antarctic, because there are a lot of, and here we go, there are no, there are several of the draconians, the really bad ones that fell to the earth because they lost the war and was frozen and put in prison in the Antarctic.
Hmm.
And yeah. So and Hitler got a hold of this information. That's why he sent all his soldiers out there and started building bunkers and base. And he managed to communicate with these beings out there. And this is how Admiral Byrd got his ass, excuse my French, handed to him when he took 3,000 men, 30 ships, and planes to the Antarctic and got his ass handed to him by these UFOs and flying type. Men died and stuff. And when he came back to talk about it, he did a live broadcast on what he saw doing that, and they silenced him. They
Hmm.
silenced him. And eventually, when he did so much that they arrested him, saying that he was crazy, he lost his mind, they gave him medication. They locked him up, and his wife wasn't even allowed to see him. And then the report came out that he passed away in jail due to suicide.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds like the man who was trying to raise our vibrations to stay healthy. What's
Yeah.
his name? Dr. Sebi, Sebi, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
Sounds
Hmm.
like him.
Yeah. There are people out here who have great knowledge like that. And if they speak too loud, they go outside, you know, that rule of keep your mouth quiet, they will be off. They'll take them off. They'll take them off the planet quickly. You
I'm gonna
know.
say this. I feel like this, and this is just my theory, okay, everyone. I feel
Uh-huh.
like our DNA tells a lot about us, and this is why they get it from us from birth,
Right.
and they watch us, and they see what we gonna do with what, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like our DNA, that's the only thing that does not change. I really believe that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Our DNA. Yeah.
Our DNA. So when we come back, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying, and they take our blood,
Right.
um. They kind of know if we were,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? I really do
Yeah.
believe that. I believe that.
We, if we come back from the part of the royal bloodline, put us in
Hmm.
our place. you
Yep.
know, put us right in our place. That is so funny. How it is. But like I said, the truth is so unbelievable that we think it's a lie.
Hmm.
And people just most people have their comfort zones, their homes, their jobs, their internet, and that's what they want. And that's how they want to be. They don't want to know this. They don't want to. Some of them feel like there's something going on. And they want a little bit of question, a little bit of answers. But then they go down, not back to my regular life, which is the big
Yeah, that's
delusion.
how I used to be. What are you
Yeah,
talking about? Yeah, you sound
yeah,
crazy. Let me go on back over here to where I was. That's how I used to be.
yeah,
Then somebody
yeah,
was like, come on down this rabbit hole with me. And I can't get out.
yeah.
I can't get out.
Oh man, nope, it is. But yeah, the Draconians are they're either also saying that they're the ones that are running the world because everybody, who does the Pope answer to? how's this 70-some-year-old man making global global decisions on everything from banking to food products to going out in space?
The question is, when did he become in charge?
Well,
And why?
they elect the Pope, so the Pope is nothing more than a puppet. So who's the Pope answering
Yeah,
to?
I
Like,
know that, but he's
you
supposed
know,
to be like what, like God, the closest thing. You're
that's
not
what
getting what I'm saying. Think
they
about
look at
how we're
the
talking about what
leader.
we're talking about. So let's listen to where I'm coming from when we're talking about what we're talking about. So the
Uh-huh.
Pope is supposed to be the closest thing to God, and yet everyone is going to him to make worldly decisions. Who is he
Yeah,
going to answer from?
yeah, exactly. I think he's going to some sort of the reptilian or something that we're not used to hearing about. Because remember Pope Benedict? Was it
Okay.
Benedict that quit? Now in the
Hmm.
history here is no Pope didn't quit nothing. You're in there till you're dead.
Right.
And he quit.
So
He
where
says,
is he at?
huh?
The question is, where did he go after he quit?
Well, same thing like Trump. They go into hiding. They don't want to be in the public's
And
eye.
Trump
Because
ain't
people have
hot.
questions.
Hmm.
People have questions. That's why you're not going to find that Pope once he do something like that.
But that's what
Some
I
people,
mean, though.
yeah, some people going to be put him to shame. Some people going to want to kill him, and then some people just want to have questions. And either way, he did. So yeah, he just went into hiding, disappeared. He couldn't do it. It terrifies him. And when they had that big meeting there in the Antarctic, all these John Kearney with John was it what's his name? Um, the Secretary of State, and he no the there was vice president back then. Was it Cheney? Dick Cheney. Cheney when he went to the Antarctic, and
Hmm.
when he came back, and because he was whatever he saw there he wanted to talk about, and he got into a quote car accident, almost killed him, assassination attempt on his life. We had Buzz Aldrin who went out there, had me medevac back out of the complaining that he saw great evil. We're all doomed. What he kept ranting about,
Hmm.
we're all doomed. I see the great evil, from the Arctic. And you had the Pope that went out there. You had a lot of the heads of state went out there to the Antarctic because big meeting. Who are they meeting out there? Who are they talking about? You
So
know,
these people who said quit or quote unquote tough or it's something that they can't handle. It's something that they need.
yeah,
They gotta feel like they gotta confess.
yeah.
Uh,
It scared the hell
Buzz
out. That's what it is.
Aldrich and Admiral Burke, who's letting us know there's. I told you though. Remember when I said there is a map
Mm-hmm.
that shows the Antarctic wall, and outside of that there's land and water, and there's another wall, and outside of that, this is a very old map that
Yeah.
I really gotta send it to you, but it's like
It
they
also
tell
sounds like it was dropping Atlantis because Atlantis was built like that. It's a river. It's a lake with land and a lake within the land,
mm.
according to Plato. It almost sounds like that's the description of Atlantis.
And it's like, why
And
don't you want us to know that there's much more beyond our hemisphere?
because we won't need them no more.
We don't
We
need
won't need.
them. Well,
You can't imagine. The government can't. The government cannot imagine a world where we don't need them anymore.
what
They can't
government?
tell
Because
us
the
the truth.
government is not in charge.
Yeah, well, the government is in charge. You need a license to
The
drive your car.
government that we're not aware of. That's what you're talking about?
Yes, the government.
Because we know the
Yeah,
president is not in charge of nothing except for,
right,
never mind. Let me keep my
right.
comments to
You got
myself.
you have the Congress, you have the Democrats and Republicans and stuff like that. You have these people and these great power, these families and great power,
Mhm,
and they are surviving off of us needing and wanting the things that we have. And just imagine
mhm.
if all of us didn't need or want anything from them anymore. What would they be? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. That would
Nothing
be
be
just
absolutely
like you
nothing.
and me, people. That's
Exactly.
it.
So this is why they keep the knowledge from the people. And they do all these different things that would throw us off, these great distractions. It's all a great distraction. I wonder what the next in 2022 what's going to be the next great distraction. Right now we got the volcanoes and sea monsters, stuff like that for right now. A little bit for everybody.
crazy.
The next year, what's for next year?
We shall see.
Very
We
interesting.
shall
Very, very
see.
interesting.
Well, people,
Very,
all
very.
I can tell you is to what does the Bible say? Pray and keep watch. However it is
Yeah.
that you feel like you do that. Um,
Yep.
keep your spirit where your spirit is supposed to be. Seek the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit will seek you that way. That's how it goes. I'm going to close this out because, as you can hear, my kids are getting a little bit rowdy in the background. Anything else you want to say, and Leo,
No,
close this
no,
out?
that's it. I'm heading out on the road and do my thing and head home.
All righty, people. Please comment, like, subscribe, share, send some information. We still looking for them pictures from where, and Lil?
Anywhere, everywhere, different countries.
Everywhere.
You know,
We
yeah.
want to
Send us an
see.
email. Let us know what's going on in your part of the woods. We're interested. We want to talk about it.
All righty. And on that note, we say we love you and good day. Bye
That's
bye.
right.